ladies and gentlemen, as always, I'm your host, AirsoftAL. And while, yes, my throat is still somewhat messed up from recovering from a cold, and I do have a little bit of a sore spot over here on my left side of my throat, at least I'm still able to talk somewhat. So I thought I'd go ahead and take it easy on myself and talk about a camera. Not just any camera, one I have actually been requested to review from Walmart, from a lot of my Walmart airsofters. Yes, there are those who do buy their CO2, their BBs, and even some of their gear from Walmart because Walmart's online store does in fact have some tactical gear and other stuff. Don't judge them, understand them because they're on a tight budget and they can't exactly, well, a lot of times they can't buy from elsewhere. But the camera I'm talking about today is Vivitar. Vivitar, I've had a history with one of their cameras not exactly being up to snuff, and it being the price tag that it was not exactly the best camera I've ever had. It is still in my collection of cameras, but it's not exactly the best it could be. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take a look at the Vivitar 4K Ultra HD action camera and see if this thing is worth $70. Looking at the packaging itself, it's not anything special. It's your basic clamshell packaging that you would find in any other action camera of this sort. However, other action cameras have come in boxes, which actually is a lot better and probably better for storage because, you know, just what it is. Now the Now the big selling point on this is that you can share on social: Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram. This thing does have Wi-Fi capabilities, 4K Ultra HD, webcam for vlogging. It has a back screen and a front screen. It is waterproof, shockproof, freeze-proof, and dust-proof. And has wireless transferable photos to your phone. It has 16 megapixel, which is kind of interesting, and a waterproof case. Now, it does show on the back what is included. However, at the same time, it shows it says what's inside the camera. What's inside is a 16 megapixel action camera, Vivitar Experience software, easy guide, waterproof casing, helmet and bicycle mount, built-in rechargeable lithium-ion battery, micro SD card supported, not included. And that is exactly what's on the back. Now, what I gotta love is how they're just selling this with their rip-off YouTube logo for their webcam vlogging. Like, this is supposed to be specifically for webcam vlogging, when in reality, us airsofters are going to buy this just to use it for airsofting. So we're going to crack this out of it, which I forgot to tell you about the resolution, as well as the minimum system requirements for it. So here's the thing. This is a resolution of 4608 by 3456, 16 megapixel. Minimum system requirements is Windows 7 or latter. Internal processor based Mac OS X, version 10.9 or latter. That's kind of cool. Class 10 SD card or higher, which we do have a brand new SD card, which we will be doing a review on because I saw this thing for like $30-something at Walmart, and well, I wanted to check that out. It was 4K supported, so, you know, look at those. But either way, let's go ahead, get a knife, cut this thing open, and not cut ourselves, obviously, and see what we can get out of this. Okay, now we got that open, and believe me, it was more of a pain than you might imagine. Here we go. We have, of course, the troubleshooting for the DVR 922 HD. Shows how to put everything in there, yada yada yada. We'll set that off to the side. We have the full easy guide for it, along with the code and all. That's actually kind of cool. We have the bicycle mount, which is completely different from what I imagined. Just open this up real quick, see what we got. It is all polymer instead of being a metal or something like that. That's why I'd rather go with some metal. But unlike others, you can actually fully unscrew this. The nuts seem to be completely enclosed. And you can have this enclosed around any surface you might want. There's a little bit of rubber in there for making sure nothing ever happens to the metal. So this might be used for a barrel cam or at least something for a selfie cam mount if I do not have any Picatinny rails for for the regular mount, so that might do good. Here we have the helmet mount, I think is what this is. That's what this is. Let me look at the guide real quick. I think that's what this is. Yeah, That's what this is. It's either the helm mount or it might be a camera mount. I don't have a full list of it. That was not listed in there. We have a micro USB, so that's good. We have a basic GoPro lock, so that's actually pretty good. So they're actually trying to go full on, at least decently. We have the lithium-ion battery, which is rechargeable. That looks like a standard GoPro, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I'll let you guys decide that in the comment section. One, that's actually kind of cool. It's a, okay, so here's how it's supposed to go. It's if this is setting this way, so that way you can have the camera facing that way. That's actually kind of cool. I've been needing more of those. Of course, and they need to be metal, but that's just how it is. A screw and mount for your camera mounts, which is what I'm using to film right here, which I might be doing for the future. Another screw mount, so that's another screw for locking the camera into many of the mounts. A skeletal. Okay, that's kind of cool. Skeletal. For actually, I don't know. I'm a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. And then we have some pads. Yeah, okay, I'll just set that there. We have some straps, Velcro straps for the helm mount, which is actually kind of cool, very nice. And I just figured out what that one was for. It was for the helm mount. That's actually kind of nice. And then finally we have the GoPro itself, or not the GoPro, the Vivitar action camera itself, and its fully sealed waterproof case. Pull this out real quick, and there we go. The fully water sealed case, which I might do like, if I can find the microphone on it, I might be doing a lot more to it. I don't know which. What I'm going to do is something I actually do recommend you guys do if you can. Let me put this in here. Then there is that if you have this kind of camera mount and you want to keep it, you know, you want to be able to protect the camera itself, Dremel out the back here so that way sound can come through, because that's what I did for a lot of my GoPros. Although I might test this mount out in this video series with this, but either way though. So pulling it, it's actually a really ingenious lock. It has a little spring-load lock here. So we're going to pull this back and we're going to unlock it. There is some stuff on here. Oh yeah, there's instructions, little sticker instructions. That's actually kind of cool. We're gonna probably keep that. Pulling the camera out itself, where we can remove a lot of the stuff on here if it has any. It does not on the back screen, so that's a good thing. Let's go ahead and pull this off here. Throw this on there. And the camera itself is not that badly built. It really isn't. That's got a rubber bit right there around the lens. That's actually kind of cool. Pulling this out, we have that, which the battery is to go into along with the micro SD, which I will be putting on here. We'll be charging up and we will be putting on there. I will tell you the amount of hours this thing has. Use a specific charger for blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and put the battery in there real quick. Lock that in place. And there we go. So there is 2 modes on here, which is actually kind of nice. You have the Wi-Fi function right there on the side of it. You have the serial number right there, which is also kind of nice. We have the camera itself right there, and of course the power button. And I'm just going to look at the little instructions right here. So, okay. So the power button is to, you're supposed to long press for on and off, which that's how you're supposed to do. A short press for the switching of modes, which means between camera and, which is snapshot mode or regular camera mode, and of course camcorder mode or record mode. Shutter button, which is capture picture and or stop video, or menu mode, which is that right there. And for the Wi-Fi, short press to switch between the front and back screen, or press on off Wi-Fi, menu, blah, 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 which is actually kind of cool. I am happy for some of these instructions. I will be, of course, reading the more in-depth instructions in the instruction manual. For now, let's go ahead and put this on the charger, and we will get this in the different We will get this mounted up in this mount here, which, looking at this, I can see where it's supposed to go. And the microphone is right here, so if the back, if shimming off the trimming, if dremeling out the back does not work, that's okay. I am still going to use this probably as a selfie cam, or I might be using this to record future videos, actually, for future reviews. I don't know yet. We're going to see how this goes. But the fact that it says 4K HD has got me wary of it. So we're going to take this out of the camera mount here, and we're going to go ahead and throw it on a charger. And we're going to see how long the charge lasts, which I'll get back to you on. And then we are going to throw an SD card in this. And then we're going to test out the footage and see what it's like between my GoPro Hero 5 Session and this little $70 camera here. And then we'll do some tests, okay? Okay, let's get to it. Now, of course, we've got the camera all charged up, which the charge time took about roughly 2 hours, give or take, roughly. Now, the camera itself inside this is actually pretty somewhat securely in there. It actually is. I have found 2 mics, I think. These 2 holes here, I believe, are for separate mics. It might be. But the big microphone itself is actually in the small hole here. Now, whether or not we'll actually get clear audio, we're going to be testing out. But checking out the modes themselves, I have actually found that, yes, this will shoot in 4K. 2 settings of it are in 2K and 4K. However, I will not be using those settings because the human eye is not able to see in 4K. So I'm not going to be filming in 4K, and so I'm going to be using the 1080p section, the 1080p by 60 FPS section. However, the cool thing is that this has a slow-mo mode. You heard correctly, a slow-mo, which shoots in both 1080p and in 4K. I will be using the 1080p section on the slow-mo as well because, again, that's actually kind of cool that I'm able to actually have a slow-mo camera, or at least not a... I'm sorry to say. Either way, though. So, it being like this, the camera is not... I'm actually fully trying to force this out, and it's not going to be forced out the way it is. Now, if it's loose, then yes, it will. The Wi-Fi button is right here under the charge button, and everything else about it is actually pretty decent. So let's go ahead and test this camera here on the mount and see what the footage looks like. Right now we're shooting on the Vivitar action camera, and we can definitely try and see a difference with it. However, like I said, I am going to be doing a few tests with this just to kind of do a comparison type deal. So we'll do a few video tests to see how this thing works out. So let's take it off this, put it on a helmet, and see how she does. Now we're going to look back at the footage from that, or at least I'm going to look back at it and judge for myself whether or not it's actually pretty decent or not, but I'll let you decide in the comments section. But the feature I'm really looking forward to for future videos, of course, has to be the slow-mo function of the camera. So I'm going to put this camera on a mount, and we're going to actually more or less see how this does. So I'm going to grab my high Kappa, or my 2011, that I custom made, or not really fully custom made, but it's a KJW more or less, and we're going to take it out there and we're going to see what this thing looks like. Now besides of course the high cap, I'm also going to put on the basic 1911 lower as well, but again we're going to see how it all works out. Aside from that, I just want to see what this thing looks like. So let's go ahead, get to that footage, and I'm going to look back at it actually and see how that works out, how that does. And we're going to see how it all works out in the end. So let's go ahead, get this on a mount, get outside, and see what this thing looks like, or at least what it looks like in general on slow-mo. When looking back at the footage, I was able to see that the slow-mo, while yes, does slow-mo, you have to actually legitimately push it actually in the video editor of your choice if it has that slow-mo ability, primarily in the video speed setting. For me, I have it in the video speed setting for Power Director from the Power Tools setting, and I had to do the images linked together essentially to make sure it doesn't blur, it actually is smooth in terms of the slow-mo, which you saw. That was done with, of course, the editing process. In terms of the audio quality, I did see an issue with it, that the fact that this video camera does not shoot in MP4 audio, MP4 video. Instead, according to the video files here, it shoots in H.264 AVC file format. I have yet to see how to actually change it. Now for the audio, which again I've actually messed with this kind of camera before, for the audio you could tell it wasn't that great. However, I figured out why. The mic for this camera, unlike a GoPro, which is on the front of the camera, or has several mics in the front and the back, is actually these two little holes right here, as you can see. That's the big issue, but an easy fix, because I have dealt with this before with another more cheaper camera. That was, if you've ever had Call of Duty Ghost and you actually pre-ordered for it, was of course the Call of Duty Ghost cam, which was a tube cam, which was based off of the other more basic tubular cameras. This thing of course is in 1080p, and well, it has that setting for 1080p, which again, all that good happy jazz. Now, the big thing about this camera though is that the audio quality wasn't that great. The reason for that was because of the mic being right here. I had to actually pull out the entire internals and actually cut out a big hole in the mic itself. For this, because I don't want to damage the camera itself, and I cannot exactly open her up like I could, which is a big issue in of itself, I've basically gotten this, which was the skeletal style of it, and basically drilled the mic holes bigger, hopefully to catch the audio better. However, because I have a GoPro and a editing software where I can use the audio from my GoPro for this, I could basically do that. So instead of using the audio from this camera, I can use the audio from the GoPro, meaning that this could actually make a very good selfie cam. Or if you really want to use it as a front camera, or at least as a point of view camera, which from the footage itself is not that bad in itself, you can use the audio from your GoPro, from the selfie cam GoPro footage. Or you can have the GoPro off of the side of your helmet and have that as like a mic. Again, it kind of depends on how you want to set that up. Me personally, I'm probably going to use this as a selfie cam because with the hard case, which of course is this little number right here, I've already drilled out the holes in it. So I will have this with the camera inside, nice, safe, and sound. So there is no issues with it, and it will give me the ability to have a very reliable selfie cam. In terms of an actually decent slow-mo camera, it's not that bad. From the footage you saw, it's not that bad, especially when it's shot in 1080p. Again, it's not that bad for a $70 camera, but if you're looking to get this as, like, say, a standalone action camera, you're going to want to obviously drill out the holes a little bit more into it, or be able to drill out the holes a little more into the mics, so that way you can get better audio reception. Now, for $70, this ain't that bad. I've seen worse action cameras, and I mean that. For $70, when I first had my first action camera, which was a tube cam like this, it was bad. It did not capture sound, no matter how much of the correct SD card I had. The other issue that I actually had was that the camera itself did not work all that well. I've had several cameras before, from JBS to several other knockoff ones, and each one of them is pretty bad. But the Vivitar ones so far have not done me dirty-ish, but it is basic. Now, something I will point out that is a little bit of an issue and actually forces you to use the camera as is that the SD card setting, you have to get a knife or something to actually press the card itself to unlock it from there. Because if you don't, then you have to directly plug the camera into your, well, into this. But what's actually cool is that this camera itself, the setting for it is that you can use this as a webcam. That's cool in itself, and I kind of like that, and might set up for future things. Again, same thing can be done for the GoPro, because there is a program where you can use your GoPro as a webcam. Again, there is some cool stuff to that. But outside of that, though, what are my full thoughts on this thing? What do I fully think about the Vivitar 4K action camera? I personally think that there is potential there for it, but at the same time, for $70 or even less, you can get better knockoff GoPros online from Amazon. And yes, I do plan in the future to check out a lot of those Amazon cameras, especially some of the ones that are recommended, some of them that have actually gotten a lot of good reviews, because I want to see the best, cheap, affordable alternative to a GoPro for those who want an affordable action camera. because I know a lot of my viewers out there do not want to spend the money that GoPro asks. I know a lot of them want a good, affordable alternative that is just as good, if not better, as GoPros. Again, there are so many options out there nowadays. I know e-bike sells a couple knockoff GoPros on their website now from SEMA and a few others. But again, we're going to have to wait and see what comes of that. But either way, though, ladies and gentlemen, as always, I've been AirsoftAL, and I will see all you lovely, lovely people in the next video. Well, I'm not going to say till next time, because before I end the video, I want to hear your thoughts about this camera in the comments section. Have you owned this camera before? Have you owned other Vivitar action cameras before? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you want to come join me and talk about cameras or just chat in general, there's a Discord link down below in the pinned comment. And if you want to help support the channel and in my endeavor to check out other affordable action cameras, then consider donating to our PayPal down below. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been AirsoftAL, and I'll see you lovely, lovely people in the next video. Till next time, later.